We're still in our World War II series, so don't forget we've ditched the 19 part of the date. So today's date is February 1945, or 245, the Yalta Conference. This was the second meeting by the Big Three, Churchill, Roosevelt and Stalin. The aim of the conference was post-war reorganization of Germany and Europe. The first controversy of the conference was that Charles de Gaulle had not been invited to the meeting, possibly because Roosevelt had preferred Henry Durand to be head of state of France, not de Gaulle. Roosevelt's aim for the conference was to gain Soviet support against Japan in the Pacific, and for the Soviet Union to participate in the United Nations. Churchill was pressing for elections in Central and Eastern Europe, especially Poland. Stalin wanted to claim a sphere of influence over Central and Eastern Europe, which was essential for Soviet national security. He even claimed that he wanted to make Poland strong, to atone for past Russian sins against the country. The Polish government in exile emphasized that its demands for Poland were non-negotiable. Stalin agreed to enter the Pacific War if the now communist Mongolia was given recognition by the USA. Stalin got his way in Eastern Europe, partly because the Soviet army was 3 times the size of the Allied forces in the West. The post-war occupation zones for Germany were agreed upon. The US and UK carved out a piece of their respective zones for France to administer. It was even suggested that Germany be dismembered and 4 new countries were created. The Allies reaffirmed their desire for Germany to unconditionally surrender. Germany was to undergo demilitarization and denazification after the war. It was also agreed that any remaining leaders of the Nazi regime would be put on trial for their crimes, a significant shift in global politics and the enforcement of international law. The decisions at Yalta dismayed the Polish government in exile, who felt they had been betrayed by their allies. Churchill had to face a vote of no confidence and a 3-day parliamentary debate on the agreements made at Yalta. MPs in Parliament had deep reservations about what he had agreed to. Not long after Yalta, it became clear Stalin had no intention of giving the Eastern European countries a right to independence. Instead, they would fall under Soviet control. The war had started with the invasion of Poland back in 1939, and now Poland still found itself unable to determine its own future, despite the fact the war was coming to an end. To remember this date, let's have the Big Three playing a game of Risk, along with the Polish government in exile. Stalin's army is now in Europe, and after a decent dice roll by the Polish government, they win control of Central Europe. Stalin flips the flip out and tosses the game board into the air. All the dice, toy soldiers, the cannons, the horses, fly up into the air, and as they come back down and land on the ground, they give us the 2 numbers of our date, 2 and 45. February 1945, or 245, the Yalta Conference. Thanks for watching.